So for this Pokemon BDSP guide slash moveset, we will be covering Lucario. So let's talk about Lucario's stats real quick because it's honestly a weird stat distribution. So he has a 90 base stat speed, which isn't bad on the surface, but it's actually bad for Lucario because there are so many Pokemon faster than this guy that counters Lucario. For example, Charizard, Entei, Arcanine, Gliscor, Garchomp, Flygon, Typhlosion, etc. There are so many Pokemon faster than Lucario that also counters Lucario. So 90 base speed is not good for him. Not to mention he only has defensive and special defensive stats coming in at 70 with a HP stat also at 70. So his overall defensive capabilities aren't great either. However, he does shine in the offensive department because he has pretty good attack and special attack stats, which we can take advantage of. When it comes to his typing, however, he actually has a really good typing with fighting and steel. Fighting and steel grants you a poison immunity. He also only has 3 weaknesses. Now granted, these weaknesses are pretty common, fighting, ground, and fire, you will be seeing them quite often. However, he has a ton of resistances, which is really good. So these resistances would kind of help balance out his poor defensive capabilities. However, if you do get hit by a fighting, ground, or fire move, chances are you are going to get one-shotted. So the first build I have for you today is a physical attack build, and this is the build that most people are going to run. Even though Lucario's special attack is slightly higher than its physical attack, most people still run the physical attacking build because it's better. The reason why it's better is because the abilities work better with the physical Lucario, and Lucario's physical move pool is better than its special attack move pool. But don't worry, if you want a special attacking Lucario, I have one later in the video. So here's the build. Max EV in speed and physical attack with the Jolly nature. The item is a Life Orb and the ability is Inner Focus, allowing you to be immune to both Intimidate and Flinching. So good. The moves are Meteor Mash, Extreme Speed, Close Combat, and Protect. When it comes to the alternative moves, we have Bullet Punch. Now, let me just talk about Bullet Punch real quick. You don't need to have Bullet Punch if you're running Extreme Speed because both are priority moves, and even though Bullet Punch is a stab move, Extreme Speed still does more damage. However, you could replace the Bullet Punch for Meteor Mash. Yes, Bullet Punch does a lot less damage than Meteor Mash. Bullet Punch, however, is 100% accurate and it is priority, whereas Meteor Mash only has 90% accuracy. 90% is a high number, but there is a 10% chance to miss, and a lot of people don't want to take that risk. So you could think about replacing Meteor Mash for Bullet Punch. However, I do want to mention that Meteor Mash does have a 20% chance to raise your attack by 1 stage if you land the move. So that is something to think about, but 20% is a low chance and a lot of people don't really care for that. However, if you do run Bullet Punch as your steel move, then you can replace Extreme Speed for any of the other moves, because like I mentioned, you don't need to have 2 priority moves on the same Pokemon. Not to mention that having a steel move isn't really as necessary in this generation as it is to Gen 8, where we had so many fairy Pokemon. So you could get away with just having Bullet Punch as your only steel move. The other alternative moves are Earthquake, Rock Slide, Stone Edge. These rock moves are really good, and Earthquake is also really good for countering Lucario's fire weakness. Swords Dance and Agility. Swords Dance for more power, and then Agility for that speed increase, which can also help you overcome the threats we talked about earlier in the video. Follow Me, and then Helping Hand. I put Follow Me here because Lucario has a ton of resistances. Yes, even though its defense stats aren't the greatest, if you can Follow Me, a Pokemon where you have resistance against, it can actually help you and keep momentum in your favor. And then Helping Hand, maybe I don't know how important or necessary it is, but I just thought it'd be best if I put it in the alternative move section. The alternative items are Choice Scarf or Choice Band. Choice Band, Bullet Punch or Choice Band Extreme Speed is something a lot of people do because it is priority. You always go first, and there are strong moves with the band. Choice Scarf, however, would help you overcome the threats that I talked about, but if they're also running Choice Scarf, then it's kind of pointless. So the next build I have for you is a Special Attack Lucario with max EV in speed and Special Attack with a Timid nature. The item is Choice Specs and the ability is Steadfast. The thing about Inner Focus is that you're both immune to Intimidate and Flinch. However, because you're a Special Attack Lucario, you don't care if you get intimidated or not, because Intimidate only lowers your physical attack, not your special attack. However, you can still run Inner Focus if you want to protect yourself from being flinched. The only reason why I run Steadfast is because when you do get flinched, and if you get flinched just once, you are now faster than all the threats I previously mentioned earlier in the video. However, do be aware that if you do get flinched, you can also die in that exact same turn if your opponents are targeting you. That being said, the reason why I want a Choice Specs and Steadfast combo is because Steadfast is going to give you that speed, whereas Choice Specs gives you that damage. However, if you don't want to run Steadfast, you could replace Steadfast for Inner Focus. You can still keep the Choice Specs if you want to run it with Inner Focus, or you can replace Choice Specs with Choice Scarf for a speed boost, or replace it with Life Orb. When it comes to the moves, however, we have Aura Sphere, Flash Cannon, Psychic, and Shadow Ball. The alternative moves are Protect, Dark Pulse, Focus Blast. You can replace Focus Blast for Aura Sphere if you want more damage. However, Focus Blast does have a 70% accuracy, which isn't the greatest, so do be aware. Dragon Pulse, I only kept it here because it counters, Flygon and Garchomp. Nasty Plot, Agility, Follow Me, and Helping Hand. And the final build of the video is more for singles players than it is for doubles, and I'll explain that later on. So we have Max Eevee in physical attack and speed with the Adamant nature this time. The item is Life Orb and the ability is Inner Focus. The moves are Agility, Swords Dance, Close Combat, and Protect. Now the game plan here is to, we have double boost moves. We have Agility and we have Swords Dance, giving you speed and power. Basically, use Agility first and then Swords Dance, or, in some cases, you don't even need to use one of them, right? If you're faster than all of your opponent's Pokemon, you don't need the Agility. And if you're capable of one-shotting or severely injuring most of your opponent's Pokemon, you probably might not need to use the Swords Dance. So, it's just a setup Lucario. And the reason why this works well in singles is because there are fewer Pokemon that are targeting Lucario, allowing Lucario to boost up much more frequently. Whereas in doubles, you have two Pokemon to deal with, and both of your opponent's Pokemon can target the Lucario, which could prevent Lucario from building up its stats. Not to mention things like Earthquake and Heat Wave will be very common, and both moves are going to probably one-shot or severely kill your Lucario. So, for those reasons, this build works better in singles than it does in doubles. The alternative moves are Bullet Punch. Now here's the thing. You could replace Bullet Punch for Protect. The reason why I didn't put Bullet Punch is because, like I mentioned earlier, having a Steel move isn't as necessary as it is in this gen than it is in Gen 8, right? So Bullet Punch is in the alternative move section. But if you think Protect is not worth it because you're faster than your opponent and you're stronger than your opponent, then what's the point of Protect? Then fine, go ahead, have the Bullet Punch. It's just an extra move to have in your back pocket because it is priority just in case you need a priority move, and it is stab, so why not? Another move to run is Earthquake and Rock Slide. These two are just strong moves to have, and Rock Slide, again, it does counter your fire weakness, but don't forget that Rock Slide has a 90% accuracy, so there is a 10% chance to miss. In the red, we have Nasty Plot, which is basically these moves you replace for physical moves if you want to make this build a special attack Lucario, right? So you would replace the Swords Dance for Nasty Plot, you would replace the Close Combat for Aura Sphere, and you could replace the Dragon Pulse for Protect. The only reason why I kept Dragon Pulse here is because it counters the Flygon and Garchomp. Again, like I said earlier, having Steel is not necessary, and because you already have a Fighting Stab, that's good enough. And the alternative items would be Focus Sash. And that's the end of my Lucario guide / moveset for Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I will be coming out with a Staraptor guide later today or sometime tomorrow perhaps, most likely today. So if you don't want to miss that, or if you want to see any of my other Pokemon guides or any of my other related Pokemon content, then subscribe so you don't miss out. Thanks for watching and peace.